Good morning. The drone footage you just saw is of my campsite. I took it last night. I'm out in the West Desert of Utah. It is a large, uninhabited, mostly uninhabited region in far western Utah. It's a remote area, beautiful area. This trip will largely be in western Utah and eastern Nevada, so it's another desert trip. I know some people don't like the desert trips, and if that's the case, you know, you might just be watching the wrong channel, because I love the desert and I spend a lot of time in the desert. And I wanted to touch on that briefly. The reason I don't spend a lot of time in places where there are trees is that I live in the desert, and where there are trees is at the higher elevations, so in the mountains, and it's been winter and early spring, and there's several feet of snow in the mountains. And so I spend a lot of time in the mountains in the summer and fall, but in the winter and spring I can't do that. And so just by way of explanation, there you go. So like I said, today's day 2 of this adventure. Yesterday I started off the day with a giant donut, which I will put a picture of here. And then I went fishing in a little mountain stream, and I will put a clip or two of that here. Another nice fish. And then I drove past 3 or 4 Pony Express stations. The Pony Express was a short-lived mail carrying service where young men on horseback would ride 15 to 20 miles between these stations and carry mail across the country from Missouri, from St. Joseph, Missouri to Sacramento, California. And it went through this part of Utah. And so I traveled along the Pony Express trail for a little while, seeing some of those stations. There's not much left to see now. But I'll put a few pictures here of some of the markers and the area. And then I came here last night, had a great night's sleep last night, slept for about 10 hours. It rained consistently off and on throughout the night, and I think looking at the sky, it'll be like that today too. My first order of business today is to climb a mountain. I wanted to climb a mountain in this area that's further over this way. It's the highest point of these like rocky areas, these like rocky outcrops and mountains called Desert Peak. But let's hop in the car. I'm ready to go and at least try to drive over there and climb it. Maybe we can slip a trip to the summit in between little storms here. This is the mountain right here. As I'm driving toward it, I wanted to show it to you. This is the mountain right here that I'll be climbing. Okay, here we are. There's a little campsite here that I'm parked at. This is the mountain. It's steep, there's no trail. I'm not entirely sure how to get up here. I think I'm gonna go over here, and then this way looks slightly lower angled, so I'll check out that route. From here to the top, it's almost exactly 1,000 vertical feet. I'm at 5,400 feet in elevation here, and the top up there is 6,400. You know what? Scratch that. Instead of going up this way, I'm just gonna go straight up this gully thing right here. Made it to the top. It's a little survey marker. Some roads out here in the desert, but not a whole lot else. I parked down here. I came up from down there. This is an amazing summit up here. Really incredible views, just a beautiful place, especially this time of year where the desert is a little bit green. In the summer it's not like this. Took about 45 minutes to get up here. I think it was like 43 minutes with 1,050 feet of elevation gain, and it was half a mile in distance traveled. So not far this way, but pretty far that way. Gonna head down now. Head back to the car, and then I'll just keep driving out into the desert on to my next destination. Okay, we are at a hot spring area called Baker Hot Spring. Don't really know which pools are at a safe temperature. I think some are too hot. Let me poke around a little bit and see what I can find. This looks big enough to sit in. Looks like there's some platforms here. It's nice. The water coming in. It's pretty hot. All right, I think I found my spot. This is pretty nice. It's warm. It's not hot. It's a nice, comfortable temperature. The problem is that the bottom is like silty, sandy, and so I'm gonna come out of here being pretty gross. But it's still nice. That was delightful. I was in there for about half an hour, and like I said, it was warm, not hot, but comfortably warm. It's a little bit of a chilly day and it's windy, and it felt really nice to be in there. The springs that are up here empty out into these pools out here. This was very cool. I'm glad I came here. It's not a great hot spring. It's like a 3 out of 5 star hot spring, but definitely worth the stop if you're in the neighborhood. Let's get back in the car and go to our next destination, shall we? Alright, so I'm up in the mountains. I'm up in a canyon that I came to so that I could fish the creek right here. Really pretty creek right in front of a bunch of campsites. There are tons of places to camp in this canyon. And then the campsites are just right here. I spent about an hour and a half here wandering around the creek, doing some fishing. Didn't see any fish, let alone catch any fish. I'm gonna wander around a bit more, drive around this canyon a bit more and try to find a place to camp. This is a nice place to camp right here where I am now, but it's a campground. It's like there are fire pits and there's a toilet. That's all. It's free. You know, I don't want to camp here if someone else is going to show up later. I haven't seen anyone else up here, but I might go try to find a place that's a bit more private even so. So let me go do that and then I'll get back with you. All right, found a campsite. It's not the last place that I showed you, it's somewhere different. It is close to the creek. We're further up the canyon from where we last were, so the creek is a bit smaller. We're at this nice little green clearing. I'm parked underneath some trees over there. And here's a look at the canyon downstream. I could pull up the car further to camp like right here, right on the edge of the creek. But I like this spot over here. I like being sheltered a little bit by the trees. And believe it or not, I think I'm going to have a campfire tonight. I rarely have campfires. Don't really like them that much, to be honest, most of the time. I don't like smelling like smoke for days afterward. If it's just one night, then, you know, sure, fine. But when I'm on a multi-day trip, I don't like smelling like smoke and my jacket and my clothes all smelling like smoke. But right now it's still a little bit early. It's 5:30. I've got at least 2.5 hours of daylight left, 3 hours of daylight left. And I think it would be nice to just kind of hang out by the campfire. Okay, so I used this $10 Walmart saw that I have and this like $20 little hatchet, and just gathered a nice little pile of wood here. I've stuck some paper towels under some twigs. Let's see if we can get this guy going. Well, it's 8 o'clock now. I've just been hanging around the campfire, listening to some podcasts and reading, and I'm gonna just end the video here. Hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know what your favorite part was. In the next video, tomorrow, I'm going to be climbing a mountain near here. I actually hadn't planned on climbing that mountain, but as soon as I got up here, up into this canyon, I thought, you know what, I want to camp up here. And then I looked at my map and thought, okay, there's a mountain. Let's climb it. So that'll be fun for tomorrow. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.